plants. That's right. Ooh, look, butterfly. Don't know how much you can see of that, but so what you're looking at is mint and flowers. Not entirely sure what type of flowers, but can you see it? Yeah, this is what I've been doing with my friend's garden over the last few years. Is like, don't have much in the way of resources, but been slowly just adding and growing, and yeah, there's a little mini cherry tree. Some flowering succulents. Broken avocado tree. The random collection of cacti. But the thing that got me into gardening really was my great-grandparents, because it's something they always did. They always grew their own food and grew random things. And a lot of it comes from the sort of First World War mentality, or Second World War mentality of, make do with what you have. Sorry, that was a passion fruit flower. And some wildflowers. Madagascan palm with some wildflowers growing in it. Some more of the butterfly flowers. Got blueberry here, hiding the pomegranate. There's another passion fruit flower, some raspberries and mint. Like I say, it's a mix of flowers and growables, like food, basically. So, a bit of sweet corn. I'm fairly sure it's some kind of sweet corn. Not entirely sure the specific variety. And then squashes. Actually, there's a beetroot hiding amongst there. There is a bunch of kohlrabi as well. There's some kohlrabi, 2 or 3 different cabbages. I think there's 4 or 5 different squash plants growing in amongst here, in under the fig, which in itself is a bit of a giant now. It's funny, I was told like 5 years ago that I could never grow figs in the UK, and for the last 3 or 4 years I've been getting ripe figs every single year, which goes to tell you really is like, don't always believe what people tell you when it comes to gardening, because most people don't have a clue. They like to think they do. There is an aloe vera there as well. This is the thing with this garden, it's like, this was all grass and it's all council land on a hill, so it's like really not the best of ground. You've got a date palm growing in amongst a squash plant. That's summer red, purple sprouting. Another squash. Yet another figus. You can never have too many figs. But yeah, it's been the issue with this because obviously the ground is terrible, so being able to actually grow anything of use has been very difficult, but for the last few years it's picked up. Like, got some pears, it's always one, isn't there? Cherry tree hidden behind. Honeyberry. Honeyberry's a bit like blueberries, but a bit more viable. A agapanthus. And this is a... oh, what's the word for it? Cabbage. It's kale. I think this one's cabbage, but it's gone to seed, so it looks a bit ropey. Here's another flower buried in amongst here somewhere. That's the thing, is like, it's a bit of a mix and match of like food and flowers, stuff for the wildlife, bees and butterflies. There's a few more kales in amongst there. There is a rose growing through the bamboo. And there was an iris in there, but yeah. That is the nature of plants, is sometimes they don't always survive. But yeah, you've got massive raspberry that seems to be forever fruiting and giving us more fruit. A little dwarf cherry because, well, you can but try. You can see I need to attack the brambles because the joys of being in the UK, you're constantly surrounded by blackberry bushes and or bramble bushes, which, whilst produce some really nice fruit, take up way too much space. I know I'm missing stuff as well, because I know there's odd plants here and there, like I've been planting mint in amongst everything. There's, well, that's a dwarf magnolia hiding under the apple. Got some beautiful apples coming this year. This is the thing, is like it's all just been a bit of a work in progress. This is why some of it still looks a bit wild. Leaving some of it to go wild so that it helps other bits of it. Helps with aphids if you have some wild garden. But there's a tomato growing there. Some variety. No idea which. There was a strawberry in there somewhere. Another load of mint. Been putting mint everywhere because it's great for butterflies, believe it or not. Another squash. Another squash. Can never have too many squash plants. But I think that's half the fun of growing stuff, is like learning how to identify things. And I'm by no means understand any of the Latin for any of it because, yeah. Whilst I've learned a lot and learning a lot, I only have a certain amount of cognitive function and or ability to remember names. This is why I say with squashes, it's like, there's several different varieties. Some are pumpkins, some are squashes. It's a mix and match. I need to do some weeding because got tomato plants and bindweed everywhere, but, well, the tomato plants are meant to be there, but the bindweed certainly isn't. But as always, the nature of these things is got some nettles there because nettle tea is amazing, and nettle and mint tea is also amazing. But nettles, much like mint, amazing for butterflies. Butterflies are one of the fussiest things. Like, moths are pretty good. You can, like, well, there's a plant over here that's pretty amazing for moths. The cinnabar moth. Don't know if you're going to be able to see any because they've basically eaten it all. That's why if you look, there's no leaves on these plants. They've been eaten to oblivion. I'm just trying to see if I can see. Can you get out the way? Can you see it? The caterpillar hiding. But yeah, that's innately the problem with these. Some of these wildflowers. They are very much loved by certain species, which is great. Just adds to the sort of biodiversity of the sort of garden in general. But yeah, more mint. If you're wondering as well, there's British mint, spearmint, grapefruit mint, apple mint, black mint. There's several varieties of mint, basically. But essentially, over the years, all I've done is reclaim the land. It's technically not my friend's land. This is all council land. It was just grass 10 years ago. I've just been slowly reclaiming it back because, you know, it's technically the king's land. And, well, why not? Might as well grow some food and benefit off of it, because as much as lawns are great to look at and low maintenance, don't really produce anything. other than insects, which, whilst this produces a lot more insects, it also creates a lot of biodiversity and or different species that you wouldn't necessarily see in a normal garden, which, well, makes it interesting, doesn't it? Yeah, there's a few more tomatoes. Ooh, what's that? That would be... Good question. Something edible. Possibly. Kind of, yeah, kind of looks like beetroot. Sorry, I was just looking at the base of it because it's usually the easiest way to tell, but I think it's just a group of beetroot that have kind of been allowed to grow. That's the beauty of these things, is like what was essentially non-producing shit, you know, just grass, is now actually producing some food. Whilst, yes, it's not a lot. There's another beetroot, squishy squash. And the corner's got more raspberries. But yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, very little money, it's just time. And in the end of the day, why not? Because, hey, better to see some sort of food being produced from the space that you have rather than paying for allotments and all this other shite. Whilst agreed, you know, probably not the best idea. It's like, well, don't need permission to do gardening. You can't just dig a hole and start throwing stuff at it and seeing what works or what doesn't. It's what a lot of this has been about, because it's whilst the ground is terrible and the soil is shit, it's a great test bed, because if I can do it when it's god awful, I can certainly make something more beautiful when I have the sort of space and time. But yeah, these things are amazing. Like, and the bumblebees love it. But yeah, I just thought it'd be something a bit more interesting. And I'll show you some of the biodiversity and or stuff I'm doing when I'm not making art, because, wow, this is why I need a farm. Need much more space, better ground. Because that's the thing here, is like I don't really have the space to implement like Johnson Sue compost, or, wow, must have had a lot of like soil amendments. It's like, it's a lot of time and a lot of effort, and yeah, can't really see the I was trying to show you some of the kohlrabi that are hiding under there, but no, it's kohlrabi, another squash. And whilst it doesn't produce a massive amount of food, it's like, just the fact it does produce anything is kind of cool. And as I say, it's just one of those interesting experiments. Throw shit at the wall. There's a tabry in there somewhere. Some wandering Jew down there. That's the technical name for it. Not being anti-Semitic. Yeah. Free figs. I mean, how can that be a bad thing? This is why I say, is like, this is where I need more space, because I've essentially reached the limit of what I can do with my friends' space. And like I say, it's not even their space technically, it's communal council land, which, hey, whilst I've improved it a lot, there's nothing stopping them essentially coming around and chopping it all down, which they've done a few times. And as you can imagine, when you put in so much time and effort into something, it's a bit of a kick in the nuts. But yeah, there's only about 30 square meters that I've turned over so far, which is good. I'd like to do a lot more. And like I say, a lot of that comes down to resources, which, hey, I'm working on. There's going to be something coming soon. so keep your eyeballs locked. Yeah, I just wanted to share one of my many passions outside of art, because creating butterfly gardens is amazing, especially when you've been told so many times it can't be done. It's much like with growing like pomegranates and figs and all this other stuff. It's like, I've been told on so many an occasion. Oh look, there's a hummingbird moth. I don't know if you can actually see it because they are weird. But this is what I say. This is a beautiful thing with this. Is like, what was essentially junk and or just grass is now actually alive. And more interesting. But this is why I need more space, because I want to grow more trees. Need space to put them. How cute these little flowers are. They like give you perspective. Tiny. But yeah, this is the weekly update. I will get back to figuring out the prints. So make sure to keep your eyeballs locked. Links in the description. Got any questions? Feel free to ask. Like I say, if you've got a farm, I'll trade you for a peanut. Or a piece of art, you know. Fill it with mint and flowers so that the butterflies and moths can enjoy it, rather than just a dead space of grass. But yeah, let me know. I'll be back. Till the next time, stay awesome, keep positive. Peace out, my lovers.